All right, Jules.
What up, baby? How we doing,
Uh,
Nick?
how's it going?
Amazing, amazing.
Okay.
Here we are.
We got Julian Ybanez. Ybanez, right?
Yeah, Ibanez with the little squiggly on top of the
Ibanez.
end.
Julian
Anya.
Ibanez, a very successful bug spray salesman who has scaled his business to an insane level and has gotten how many recruits underneath of you now?
So I like to look at it as a team. So like a ship, like a pirate ship.
Okay.
Bunch of crew. Everyone has their different modalities, what they have to do. So the team last year, we finished with around 30 crew members. Now we have about over 100 that are going to show up. So
Okay.
yeah, not all of them are going to make it through the journey.
Yeah, some people are
the
gonna
whole
fall off
adventure.
ship.
Yeah, so but the strong survive, and we'll probably anticipate probably 50 to 75 of those finishing the summer strong.
So a team of about 75 people by the end of the summer, and I personally have found a lot of mentorship from Julian in our time knowing each other. Very spiritual. He's ripped. You can't see it right now, but he's absolutely shredded. I didn't know until I saw you with your shirt off for the first time. And I was like, oh damn, this guy has a low body fat. It look good.
So funny enough, I was never like this, and then start of December or the first week, I started getting on a kettlebell program with Trevor Shaw and Trevor Sean. Trevor Sean. We'll have to get the name right. Trevor something. He's on Instagram, and I reached out to him. I said, "Dude, man, you're super ripped. I want to learn from you." And he's developed a one-on-one coaching program. So we have one-on-one weekly check-ins, and I just follow the program. And he creates the program week by week, along with following a diet, which is fasting 16 hours on, of no eating, and then 8 hours where you can consume high protein, little bit less carbs, but essentially you get shredded right away. So
Whatever it is, it fucking worked. That's like your shirt off. I think maybe it was in a video. I could not believe how in shape you had gotten because I'd ran into you at Josh and Alex's house before, and I mean you looked in shape. But when I saw you recently, I was like, oh damn, Julian got whipped up.
yeah,
Looking
that
good.
one time for Alex's birthday when we were in the backyard
Yeah,
wrestling.
yeah, I'd seen you then, and
Yeah.
you didn't look out of shape, but you didn't look shredded. Like now, like yeah, you look good now, man.
I appreciate it.
And it's
Man.
hard.
So,
It's hard to
yeah.
get there. So yeah, a lot. I instantly noticed a lot of spirituality when we first spoke. Instantly, that's one thing that stood out to me. And then Julian has also recommended some great books. He recommended Atomic Habits to me, and just overall, we're getting ready to start doing some business together. So I knew there's a lot of value. I think anybody who's looking to get into entrepreneurism, sales, or just make more money. I mean, Julian's a great person to just network with and know. So
Appreciate the kind words.
yeah, honestly, it's they're completely honest. Go ahead and just give us a breakdown of yourself. Julian Ybanez, what you're about, where you've come from, and we'll start there.
All right, Nick. Yeah, we'll get it, and I'm excited to work with you as well. Especially you come on the trip to Vegas, and you hung out with all the guys, and
These guys got rowdy in Vegas. Let me tell you about these guys. We were supposed to do like a steak dinner after and everything, and it was like once Russell Wilson came up and spoke on this announcement or this big event to everybody. I mean, I haven't seen a group of sales guys get as rowdy as they did. It was total Wolf of Wall Street mode, like off the charts.
It is compared to that in terms of energy levels. We obviously do everything legally and without all
Yeah.
the extracurricular.
Yeah.
But that same energy, same culture, brotherhood, in the essence that we all want to propel ourselves to the next level of our life. So we're doing it with modalities such as breath work, meditation, lots of reading, diet regimen, workout regimens, and holding each other accountable because accountability equals love. Thank you, Gaines. And essentially, what that ends up happening is we end up developing a group think where we're just on a positive wavelength and we're growing together. So I'm completely grateful for the ship I'm a part of, for the brotherhood I'm a part of, Eco Shield, is because we're always helping each other and we have each other's back and always wanting us to improve and do better.
It seriously is a brotherhood. I noticed right away. I was shoulder tapped by Alec Boata, and he shoulder tapped me in the gym. They go and knock for 4 months. We'll get into that in a minute. But he came in and shoulder tapped me, and I went out with him a few nights later, and I instantly noticed right away that the culture and like the brotherhood behind this group was like no other sales group that I ran into. Like right away, I told them like day one, I was like, dude, there's not young guys out here in Scottsdale who are this like what would you say, are this close with each other, you know?
Cohesive. Right?
Cohesive.
Cohesive as a unit, synergistic. Because sales scripts, recruiting scripts, all these things can get duplicated, but culture cannot. Culture cannot be duplicated because that comes from within. And in order for that to resonate, and why it resonates so deeply with us, is because we truly care about the person that we're working with, that we're next to, that we're going to battle with, right? So, we go to 4 months to all these different markets around the United States, and we have to go into this mindset where I have to be a selfless leader and make sure that the person next to me does well and has all the resources in order for them to succeed, right? So a rookie comes in, this is their first time ever leaving their hometown. So we have guys joining our group that have never even been on a plane before. And then they leave their hometown, they go out for 4 months and develop a set of skills where they can connect with people, a random stranger that they've never met before. And then after 5 minutes to half an hour, they've established a relationship, a friendship with them, and trust to where now this customer is going to use our services that we provide, which in this sense is pest control.
Mm-hmm. It's funny the way you guys joke about it too. That you guys sell bug spray. I mean, the whole time it's like a big joke. People make them so much fun out of it. It doesn't seem serious whatsoever.
Yeah, when I told my mom that I was going to do this bug thing for the first time, she laughed hysterically because growing up I was always terrified of spiders. She actually saved my life from a tarantula back in the day. So it's a unique opportunity. Why do we choose pest control? Of all the things, we could sell solar, windows, Cutco knives, right? So all those things I just mentioned right there, they're one-time events, right? When you sell solar, when you sell windows, there's no reoccurring setup, right? They can, they're not going to come back, right? With pest control, it's reoccurring. So when you sell it one time, you're going to get credit for 5 sprays in the future for just that year. If you sell it for every other month, then you're going to get credit for 7. And if you sell it monthly, then you get credit for 12 times. So that 5-minute to 30-minute interaction, you're getting paid 5, 7, 12 times over. And that's just within a year. If you stay and grow with us and you compound that growth year after year after year, then you're going to get paid on that account over time. So back in 2018 when I was a rookie, I sold to somebody that was in need of pest control. And they've stayed a customer up until now in 2025. I'm still getting paid on that account that I sold back in 2018. So the long term is there, the short term is there, and the benefits are you get freedom, right? So we're working 4 months out of the year. 8 months we get to focus on personal growth, health, wealth, and growth, right? So reading books, going on trips, developing a skill set of mentoring and leadership. So there's no other place that you're going to be able to get the 8 months off to focus on yourself than here. Because you have to clock in, clock out. That's the nature of our world. That's how our society is run. Yeah. Right? It's an ongoing thing, and you want to grow and grow with it. So
it seriously is 4 months on, 8 months off. That's not an exaggeration. Their average rookie makes in 4 months, what is it, like 35
yeah,
grand.
That was the number in New York, because every office has different numbers in specific. In New York last year, our average rookie who finished the summer made 35 grand.
So 35 grand in 4 months, and you get paid out through the rest of the year. So, I mean, there's someone, Alec, who, if you follow EcoShield or anything like that.
He's an awesome guy.
Awesome guy. Yeah, his first year, he made, what, 55?
I'd have to look at the numbers.
He told me it was like 50 or 55, and I mean, I believe it. He's locked in. He cold plunges every morning, and that's his first year, and his first year door knocking. Yeah. He makes $55K in 4 months.
Our top rookie in New York made $52,000, so he probably made somewhere between 40 and 50.
Okay, so right in there, and that's like someone's yearly salary. That's like that's definitely above minimum wage, and you're making it in 4 months. And there's company trips. You have Joshua Bingham. I mean, he made over 100 last summer.
So off his personal sales, he made 147,000, and that was him as a rookie. And then this past year, because after his rookie year, he then became a manager and a leader. So there's a lot of that goes into that. So he combined with his personal and his team, he made 233.
So 233 in 4 months.
Correct.
With some management work to the rest of the year.
Right, exactly. So, that the 4 months is, in market. The other 8 months, you have to develop the skill of recruiting, then marketing, as well as training.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that goes into those 8 months. Then, it's not 8 months off per se, but it's 8 months of building for the 4 months of growth that goes into.
And that's optional, right? But building the team is, everyone wants to do it, obviously. There's more money and you start to actually vet yourself more into the company. But for somebody who did want to come in and just like crush it for 4 months, that's an option for them.
That's the beautiful thing. Like, it gives you, this is the window of opportunity where you can develop, if you just want to develop your sales skill, you can just develop your sales skill. If you want to, after the summer, develop your marketing and management skills, you can do that as well. So there's some people that come in here, do this for 4 months, get a resume builder, and then they're off working another job or another corporate America. Then there's guys that come in here is like, yeah, I want to learn how to manage people. So then, because management is a science and you have to learn how to do it. It's a skill as well as it is to sell, right? So somebody comes in, they learn how to manage, and then they take those skills and they can leave and do something else, or they stay and continue building. And as they're building, they can eventually work their way up to becoming a partner of the business, where they're now getting paid on their accounts that they've had since their rookie year. So the longer you are, the more that compound interest just grows year after year after year after year. And it's infinite. There's no ceiling, right? There's always a mountain to climb, and there's no peak. Once you think you hit a peak, there's a new peak.
There's a new peak.
Yeah.
Once you hit the peak, you see the next peak.
Exactly.
Farther in the distance.
Yeah. We love peaking.
So the audience definitely have an idea now of how much money some of the recruits are making. But just to get an idea of EcoShield as a whole, like what has your downline revved like this last year? Like what was the rev? Doesn't need to be what you took home, just like what your actual downline and all the recruits or all the team members made all together, would you say?
We did 10 million in revenue, and that's just off GenPest. So the cool thing about EcoShield is, and that's different than any other companies, that we're building this for long term. So there's other things than just the general pest control package of just, your basic ants, spiders, crickets. We're selling termites. We're selling exclusion, where we literally have somebody go patch up holes around the house to make sure rodents don't come in. Obviously, mosquitoes. Most companies do mosquitoes and ticks. And then, so we're being an all-encompassing place where a homeowner can use us to protect their home completely, right? So they're going to use 4 different services all under one home EcoShield, right? Instead of having to go to a pest control company, then they have to go to a third party and hire somebody else, and there's a lot of miscommunication there. We're an all-in-one pest control provider, so a one-stop shop, and it's all in-house. We're all working together to provide that protection for their house.
Dude, 10 million in rev in what was generated by 4 months of door knocking.
GenPest revenue, correct.
It's just crazy.
Right. Obviously,
it's unheard of.
Well, there's big guys like Orkin, Terminex that, they've branded themselves as key players in the marketplace. But now we're coming in and we are growing at such a incline. The rate of growth is amazing, especially with the retention, because we're providing such a great customer service and experience for them. The NPS score, we're rated number 1. So we just want to continue building that customer satisfaction, where when they see that shield pull up to their house, they know they're going to be protected.
That's awesome. 14 minutes. Cool. We're chilling. So I personally don't think that I've found many other sales gigs or jobs. And I come from sales, doing life insurance back in the day. And then now, I run my own business, so I have to sell myself. But I haven't really seen any opportunities where kids can just come in, make as much money, get as much sales knowledge, and there's like no strings attached. Like that's it. You can average, make 35, 40 grand your first year, and it's in 4 months. Like how did you find EcoShield?
Oh, EcoShield found me. My brother, Kevin Tinsley, I love him. I owe him a lot, my life. So I met Kevin Tinsley in college, and not in the classroom. We just met in the social scene. And three years after graduating, I went the corporate route. I was working for a Fortune 50 company. I learned a lot of great management skills through their program, and I got reached out by Kevin on LinkedIn, which was odd because we had been Snapchat buddies, and I'd see him go to Europe, I see him go to California, and Hawaii, all these different trips down to Mexico. So I just thought he was a trust fund kid. Right? And he reaches out to me and says, "Hey, starting a pest control business out in New York. You want to come work with me?" I'm like, "Pest control? What are you talking about, pest control?" He's like, "Yeah, we work the summer months. We go out there, we do sales, door to door sales, and then afterwards we get to travel the world and do whatever we want to do." I was like, "Dude, like, you work for 4 months. How much can you make if you're only working 4 months out of the year?" So like, well, my results are not typical because I was the number 2 guy in the company last year, but I made 200 grand last year. It's like, in 4 months? So yeah, it's like, show me your bank account. So he sends me the screenshots, so solidified it, and I was like, man, you're making 3 times what I'm making, because at the time I was making around 70 grand at this company, and after taxes, that's like 50, and he was making triple the amount in a third of the time. So I was like, all right, well, show me the training, show me the sales training. Like, let me see if this is actually legit, right? So he sends me the manual, which it was basically a play-by-play on how to take somebody from never having done sales before and teaching them how to make it their stable income. So you could give this manual to a 10-year-old kid who knows how to read, and they'll be selling lemonade better than anybody else on the block in the neighborhood. So, and then there was pick apart the pitch videos where there was videos of us selling or them selling on the doors. So I was like, all right, I've been doing sales for 7 years at that point, and I was like, everything makes sense. Like, there's a training program, there's this, there's that, and so I told my boss, hey, like, I'm going to leave this comfortable job making 70 grand a year, and I'm going to go sell bug spray out in New York. He's like, good luck. My parents thought I was crazy because I'd gone to university and got my college degree in business management and professional sales. And after graduating, got the Fortune 50 job, and now I was going to drop all that to go do door-to-door pest control. And the reason why I did that was because I saw the opportunity for freedom. So basically having, September, a paycheck coming in every other week till April. So that was my vision. I was going to go do door-to-door pest control for the summer and then come back and go act. Because I have a passion for acting. I love theater. Ever since I was a little kid, I was always in plays, acting, and then I did small little local commercials in Denver.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was my favorite. It's my pastime. I love it. I love doing it. So I pursued that in Colorado, and that's actually what made me push to do that, was to go do pest control, then move to LA and go act. And that's what I did. And so went out, had a great experience. It was literally the scene from The Wolf of Wall Street back then. So now it's a lot more toned down.
Yeah.
A lot more calm, more meditative, and more process oriented. And we did well. I was a top 10 rookie. From there, I used that money to move to LA and pursue acting. Realized I didn't want to dive too deep in that scene, and funny enough, I'd Snapchat and Instagram my whole story out in New York, and I'd friends saying, hey, I want to come do this with you next year. And at the time, I didn't even know that there was an opportunity for management, right? Kevin never told me, hey, after this year, let's go become a manager, go lead. And so after the summer was over, basically, I went to California, and I had all my friends Snapchat, Instagram, say, hey, I want to come do this with you next year. So it kind of fell into my lap. I was like, all right, well, I have 20 guys telling me they want to come out with me to New York next year. I have to go out. So I didn't really have a choice. So went out there, and then ever since, just been growing the business year after year, just helping guys develop into the best version of myself. And that's where I get my soul satisfied, is that I know that I'm helping people transition their life to becoming a better version of themselves. And that's where I find the greatest satisfaction.
I can tell too when you say that you mean it. I mean, I've seen you, a couple of your recruits or your new members, like new team members, during the gun shoot. I saw one of those kids and guys, and we've went over goals before too. And so you legit have like fucking good goals, like you want to give back to some charities this year. Like there's nothing about Eco Children, any of the guys that I've met, where it's like selfishness. Everybody is focused on bringing in more people, and not just bringing them in for the potential for whatever you're going to make off them, overrides later down the line, whatever it is, more for actually like bringing in and teaching these guys sales and like just growing the business, like actually giving these kids good tools to be able to use, not just with the Ego Show, but in life. It's like 4 months. It's like they almost get drafted to the military. When they come out, they're like a different guy. Like they're locked in.
It definitely has a team feel to it, and we do read a lot of Navy SEAL books. Definitely don't have the same honor as defending this country. We love our military, and we respect them so much because you were in the military.
I was Navy, yeah.
So we have so much respect and admiration for those that are risking their lives for us to even have this opportunity. Because there's nothing but gratitude out there. I mean, for those people, those men and women who actually go overseas and actually go on deployment and actually fight for our freedoms. Tremendous amount of admiration and love for you and for the people that do that. Because it enables us to live our lives, right? We live in one of the most free countries in the world.
Yeah.
Right? So we can walk down the street, go get a coffee. We can, if we want to move across the nation, we can. Right? There's no one limiting ourselves. We have that freedom to do things. So with that freedom, it's in our innate self that everyone who does have that ability to be free, to maximize their potential, to be able to work hard and go help out their families, help out the person next to you. It's in our DNA that we want to progress in humanity. We don't want to just stay stagnant, right? We're not meant to stay stagnant. We're meant to work hard, develop ourselves, and get better day in and day out. We want to always be better than what we were yesterday. Everyone, right? So like if you're either growing or you're dying. So you want to keep on growing. You in all aspects of life, physical, mental, spiritually. You just want to be devouring yourself, and that way you give that inspiration to the person next to you so that they develop, right? So because if you're just walking through life in autopilot, what are you doing to help the person next to you? You're doing absolutely nothing. If you're sitting eating Cheetos on the sofa playing video games all day, right? Your time is going to pass you up. In 15 years, it's going to go by like that, because you remember when you played video games, right? You would play for hours, and it would feel like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So 15 years go by of that, and boom, you're doing the same thing that you were doing 15 years ago. So it is our duty to go out there and get better. That way we inspire and help and grow as a nation. Not everyone's going to be a salesman. Not everyone's going to be a recruiter. Not everyone's going to be a manager or leader. There's other categories that we need help with. Healthcare, right? Doctors. We need engineers. We need people to build things. We need people for whatever, right? Whatever it is.
Get me fired up. I'm ready to go knock a door right now.
100%. So, but if you don't have a purpose, if you don't have alignment what you want to do, there's no better thing to do than go and sell pest control door to door during the summer.
Go and knock on that door.
Absolutely, bro. Like, I was talking to a kid last night who works at Lifetime Fitness. Literally the biggest smile on the face. Every time I walk into the gym, he's always smiling, happy, energetic, dabbing me up. I looked him straight in the eyes. I was like, bro, there's nothing better you can do right now than go sell pest control door to door out in Tampa or out in New York. And he was like, we went deep into it because he also wants to be in the military. He also wants to do that. And the only two choices he has this summer is either doing the pest control or it's being an electrician. So he's going to make probably 11 grand this summer financially. Or if he comes out, he makes 35 grand, right? That's what the average is. But in his mind, the risk was, what if I go out there and don't sell? Well, the real risk is what if you don't even try? Because no matter what, if you go out and you don't sell, then you can always go back to an hourly job, right? So like there's the real risk is not doing the work, not taking the action, because then you remain in where you were. So this is just a simple cheat code where you can exasperate your life and zapidos your way up to tenfold where you were before. So it's you learn the communication skills of talking to strangers. You get the brotherhood, the culture feel of being selfless with the brothers, and you go on an adventure. So it's just a fun. I love the summers. The 4 months is actually turns me on more than the other 8 months, because 4 months it's like a Super Bowl. It's like a video game, right? You're in it and you want to win, and you're day in and day out. You're grinding with the boys, and you're talking the group chats, hyping everybody up. The meetings are off the rails. The energy is at tier 10, right? And then Sunday's our day to bond. The brotherhood, go to the beach, eat at restaurants. And it's just it's a great experience because we're all coming together for that one thing, and that's to help each other grow to the next level, whatever that is for that individual.
It's legit too. And you see the energy behind Jules at these meetings. And I came down for the Tampa Blitz, and I thought you were on something, Jules. I had asked Josh, I was like, yo, or Alec, I was like, yo, is fucking Jules slinging something? Like, what's going on? Because you came in with so much energy. I couldn't believe that was natural. I couldn't believe you were able to generate. I think I even asked you. I was like, in a separate conversation at coffee the other day, I was like, what do you do to turn that on? And you just told me it was like a switch. And in the summer, it's like a switch. When I wake up, it's just like that, 0 to 100 as soon as I get up. And it's impressive. It's very impressive.
It's 100% the environment you're in, right? If you're around people that are hungry and motivated, you're going to be hungry and motivated as well. Mm-hmm. That turns me on. Mm-hmm. It just does. Like positive people, right? And I come from a place in terms of where I worked at beforehand, where it was just everyone was miserable. They'd been there for a couple of decades working, and they clock in, clock out. Great people too. Like these are just down to earth, amazing people. But they were just in an environment where it was stagnant, right? There was no room for growth. And I thought that's the way it was going to be for the rest of my life. So then when I came to EcoShield, it was like a puppy, right? Being put into a pack of wolves, right? And then the puppy just grows with the wolves, right? So so I just have so much gratitude for the environment and everyone who built this, right? I didn't create EcoShield, right? There's a lot of people who came before me to make EcoShield what it is today. I'm just the person who took a little bit and put my own little spin on it. And that's what we're all doing here at EcoShield. That's what I love is we're given the freedom at EcoShield to create what we want to create. We're given the Lego set, we're given the instruction manual, and we're allowed to move the puzzle pieces, the Lego pieces as we will, and to make it our own. So it's the number one form of entrepreneurship where you can come in to something that's already running and build something that you can call it your own within the umbrella. So
awesome. We just took a little piss break.
Okay.
And we're getting ready to kind of wrap it up. I want to ask you, Jules.
Yeah.
Real quick, a few things. I've obviously mentioned that you've been able to offer mentorship to me, and I take mentorship very, very serious. If you know me, it's kind of the only thing I talk about. I had an attorney by the name of Stephen Taylor, who's 70 years old now. He basically changed my life as soon as I got out of the Navy. He preached to me what it meant to get somebody in front of you who is in a position that you want to be in. So that's always my biggest advice to people is just find somebody who is the position you want to be in and just like cling to them like a little puppy or like a friend, anything you can really. So for you and your experience, it seems like most of your real success has came since 2019. This last like 6 years.
So my current success is that, but I mean, it started back in 2011 when I decided to go do sales for the first time when I was 18 years old, right? Mm. Before that, what I had seen is my father, my dad. So he was a great businessman in terms of he worked up the corporate ladder all the way to a VP level of a big corporate company. And so I got to see his interactions day in and day out. So he would take me to everywhere, right? So I would see how he would interact with different people here and there, right? So what that taught me is how to be a good student, right? So in order to become better, you have to become a great student. That's the first and foremost.
That's very true.
Yeah. So you need to come from a place of humbleness where you realize that you don't know jack shit, and you got to learn from somebody that does know their shit, right? So like you just said, with your mentor, with Stephen Taylor, right? You learned from him and you clung like him a puppy. You watched how he interacted, right? The way you moved. For this specific thing, right? With sales and EcoShield, then marketing and management and all that, it was Kevin Tinsley, right? So he was my mentor coming into EcoShield. So he brought me on, right? And he was very passionate. I used to call him every single day before that first summer, and we used to talk for an hour to 2 hours every single day. So if somebody's looking, like your question was somewhere like, where does somebody start?
Yeah, somebody looking to change their life around, aside from knocking doors, because that's the answer. If you don't know what to do, come knock some fucking doors this summer.
Absolutely.
If not that, what's some advice you would give somebody who's looking to start changing things around? The guys playing video games, the guys who just don't know what to do. They may have not had a father figure.
The great thing is, if somebody's playing video games, they already know how to learn, because they had to learn how to play the video game, and they have that discipline of being focused, laser focused on something. So you got to pick something that you can laser focus on. So whether that is you want to become a lawyer, you go to school and you read all the books and you find somebody who's been successful and you do all those things. If you want to be a great carpenter, who do you go to? Jesus. No. R.I.P. But he's always here. Amen. So anyways, we find a good carpenter, right? If you want to be a good engineer, find a great engineer. So anyways, if you're stuck, if you're 18 years old, is that kind of what we're trying to go?
You could be 18. It could be the 30-year-old who just realized like it's a flip. They're seeing stuff like this and understand like, damn, I've been wasting my life. People looking to make a change. People looking to make some money, and
you got to find somebody who's just as passionate of being a mentor as you are going to be a student, right? So there's every mentor, because that word gets tossed around a ton, right? He's my mentor. I have mentors. I'm mentors, right? So if you want to change your life drastically, you have to find somebody who's in dire need of being a mentor so that they level up in what they're trying to level up in. So the missions have to be aligned, right? So you want to find somebody that is going to level up the most by them being your guide. So, because there's a ton of guides out there, right? Tons of people that are willing to teach you and all this. But who is going to take your hand and walk with you to exactly where you want to be, right? So you got to find that industry, that demographic, so whether it be sales or anything else, and you got to find somebody who's going to take care of you and know that will be there, right? And then you got to bother them.
Yeah, you got to bother them.
You got to say, hey, I want to learn every single one of your moves, and you just study them and work through every partner. And don't be shy of asking questions. Don't be shy of getting your hands dirty, and don't be shy of failing. Because the best people in this world, they fail.
They fail the most.
And over and over again. And that's the only way to level up. So put your ego aside and go learn and study.
I'm a failing. I've seen one of my. He's a crypto millionaire. He's like a bit of a mentor for me now. I've watched him make 180 grand in under 24 hours. But he's also told me he's had multiple 6-figure losses, and I was just like. Phew. Like, you got to fail. I mean, the guys, all these crypto guys, anybody who's really successful has failed. I've failed. I've had businesses fail, and it took all that now to finally have this business model that you've become aware of. I just started, finally take off. It's just like the first thing that's really like been super solid for me.
Yeah, short-term memory.
Yeah,
knock the door, they
whatever.
Tell you F off. All right, peace.
Move to the next door. Yeah.
Yeah. If somebody says, "Oh yeah, no, I don't want to come out and do sales this summer." All right, I'm going to pour my energy into somebody who does. Right, I'm going to pour my energy into somebody who cares, who wants to level up. Right. Same thing with starting a business. Right. So if you start a business and it fails, what are you going to do?
Just give up and go home.
That's it, right? And go play video games.
Yeah.
No, you're going to go out there and improve that business. You're going to teeter. You're going to change one little thing about it and listen to your customer. You listen to the customer, boom, it moves you in the right direction. And you just keep on listening. You got to listen because people will give you the answers. Everyone always gives you the answers if you listen. God gave you 2 ears for a reason. Mm-hmm. So listen.
And one thing you touched on too, which you said that when you're looking for a mentor, you got to figure out which one to be. You want to be an engineer, you want to be a doctor, is setting a goal for yourself. I feel like a lot of people struggle there. They want to be successful, but they don't even set like such minute goal as like, okay, I want to work out, 2 weeks out of the month or something. You got to start setting goals. If you want to make 50K this year, that has to be like written down and in your mind at all times. Or else you're just like driving somewhere without a destination. You don't really know where you're going.
Yeah, you got to put it on your vision board. You got to put the house you want to live in. You want to put the car you want to drive. You want to put all these different reaffirmations. We look at the phone more than anything during the day. So you got to reaffirm your mental clarity and connect the consciousness. Boom. And you're always visualizing. You're always thinking about it. That's outcome driven. We also want to focus on the process, right? How are you going to get there, right? Because it's nice. It's great to be goal oriented. You have to be process oriented as well. You have to, those baby steps. You can't just go cold turkey. Most people can't just go cold turkey with their goals, right? And just, go from making 1 or 2 sales to, 10 sales the next day. It just doesn't work that way. You have to build your way up. So you got to create little milestones and rewards along the way. One thing that we used to do was in our car group we'd say, all right, if we get 8 sales as a car group, we'll go out to dinner. So then we would hit the 8 sales.
Yeah, everyone's trying to hit that 8 sales, yeah.
Right, and we're amping each other up during the day. The next day we'd say, all right, we have to hit 9 sales to go out to dinner. Okay, then we'd get 9. Eventually we worked our way up all the way to, I think, 24 or 25. And then at that point, then they switched our car groups. But yeah, we were going to dinner every single night because we would always, during the day, we'd be working. We wouldn't get off the doors until we hit that metric, right? We wouldn't even take breaks. We just slam another Red Bull, bang, right? Like it would just go. So it was one of those things that you got to set short-term rewards that's going to incentivize you to get to where you want to go. So like if you want to work out, for instance, if you want to get shredded, if you want to work out, just showing up to the gym and getting on the treadmill for 5-10 minutes is a win. You got to give yourself small wins.
Yeah.
Right? Just showing up, even if you just do stretches, just show up, clock in, scan the barcode, right? Get that W. Like, there's no such thing as too small of a win. Just because when you stack them, eventually you hit a place where you never thought you'd get to.
So paint the picture of who it is that you want to be, set those goals. And I know I can hear a lot of what we're speaking about now. A book that Julian recommended to me that I've heard many people recommend, but once Julian recommended, I actually went and read it, was Atomic Habits. If you haven't read any self-help books, definitely read some self-help books. And at the very least, go knock this summer or next summer if you're missing it. Like if you're stuck or don't know what to do in life, go knock some doors and sell some fucking bug spray. Go fucking do some 4 months out there and come home with some money and enjoy the rest of the year, and you're probably gonna go back. So that's it. Thank you, Julian.
Thank you.
First pod. I appreciate having Mr. Julian Ybanez on here.
Hey,
I don't think any better guest.
Hey,
it was awesome.
This was great.
Yeah,
First
this
time
is
I've ever
dope.
done one of these, and hopefully there's some value added to the people watching.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And if you haven't taken any value, then you really do need to get your priorities straight or get a good mentor, because Julian Ybanez is very successful, and I think from listening to this, you should definitely come out better than what you were beforehand. So,
Better be, better boo.
Awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.